Light is supreme, which shall illumine us with the truth. It is that light alone which can really give us the truth of the night. What the night is for, why it is there. After all, it is a divine night. It is a divine night. When Ashwapati said that he was on a pilgrimage to the night, So it is a holy temple of the divine in a certain form, functionally also purposefully there to bring out something of the divine in another way. So we should not really get frightened with this night, with this hell. It may look to us in a small segment of time, in our limitation, with our ignorance, something horrible, something cruel, something harsh. But then pain is there, but pain is the hammer of God to sculpture man, to shape man. Pain is the hammer of God to shape man. He has to become fully divine. He has to express himself in divine quality of his own, of his svabhava, of his nature, characteristic to him, to his soul. That is the expression which is to come. Now, we'll start with what we did last time little and continue. Of such fierce stuff was made up life's long hell. Yeah, already life's long hell, and of such fierce stuff. See, beautiful line. How many F's are there? Fierce stuff, life. 3 F's are there. Else, life, long, hell. Alliteration, double alliteration. And of course there is a bit of S also. Such stuff was. Long lives. So it's a very beautiful life. Although the line is telling you something very fierce and something not very pleasing, but the poetry is very smooth, very sweet, very charming in a way, you see. Of such fierce stuff was made up life's long hell. The spondy is very important there, long hell. Actually this line is a little difficult also to scan. If you lay a stress on such, if such fierce stuff was made, because of the position of such, you can lay a little stress on such. He is describing something, you can lay a little stress on such also. So in that case, the first foot becomes I am, of such fierce stuff. Long, short, long, critic. Fierce stuff, long, short, long. Third foot was made, I am, of lives, I am, long hell. Spotty, you see. If you don't give the stress on such, then the scanning will be slightly different. Of such fierce stuff, Anapist, I am, spondy. See, that is what. But I will still give a little stress on such and make it of such fierce stuff. I am critic, second foot critic, you see. These were the threads of the dark spider's web. Now this is what we were talking last time, dark spider's web. Whether it is the spider which is the dark or it is the web which is the dark. Which is the dark, you see. This is what we were talking last time. Assume that in the manuscript, in Savitri 918, there is a hyphen between spiders and web. Between spiders and web. So, it becomes dark spider's web. Still, I will say that dark actually stands for spider. More for spider than for web. Somebody who is weaving that web, he is very dark force, dark power, something which is against the laws of divine nature, darkness. Because he's talking of long hell, dark is also associated with that, you see. So I will say it is the spider who is the dark person. Spider, a person, you see. These were the threads of the dark spider's web, So again, the fourth foot is dark spondy, last foot is again am, you see, in which the soul was caught. The soul was caught in the web of the spider, quivering and wrapped. Well, the soul is caught and therefore is quivering. You can see the movement of the fly which is caught in the web, how it quivers and all that thing. But wrapped. Now, there is a little problem here about wrapped. Wrapped means W-R-A-P-P-E-D, wrapped. W-R-A-P-P-E-D, wrapped. Now, the Miltonic spelling, wrapped. So he is wrapped in this spider.
It's like this.
In this entwined, wrapped. The soul is wrapped. Soul is caught. Soul is wrapped in the web.
Wrap, like you wrap like this.
Yeah.
Okay, but the other wrap.
Now, this one W-R-A-P-P-E-D. In the old-fashioned spelling, it is put as wrapped. P-P-E-D is always taken as P-T. Kept. C-A-P-P-E-D. Kept. C-A-P-T. That is the Miltonic spelling. C-A-P-P-E-D. Kept. Your idea is kept with this thing. Kept. So they say simply C-A-P-T. Kept. The Miltonic spelling, the old-fashioned meaning is P-T. So wrapped has become wrapped, which is perfectly justified from the point of view of the old spelling of the word, you see, wrapped. Now, in fact, there are 4 occurrences of this word wrapped in Savitri. There are 4 occurrences of this word. I got a whole list, but I will not go to that. 4 occurrences of the word wrapped in Savitri, and 22 occurrences of wrapped, W-R-A-P-P-E-D. W-R-A-P-P-E-D, wrapped. 22 occurrences of wrapped. So in all there are basically 26 occurrences of the word wrapped in Savitri, you see. Now, if you see the nuances and this movement and all that thing, you use the spelling as wrapped or wrapped depending upon the movement of the line. See, it is not kind of a rule like that. Here, quivering and wrapped. See, if I say quivering and wrapped, it doesn't sound so well. But if you say wrapped, then it has a kind of a force in it, you see. Suddenly, you see, wrapped, you see. Now, there is a word, capped also in Savitri, C-A-P-T, capped. 71 point. 71.44. They kept in the long passage to the world. They kept, C-A-P-T, means capped. Capped.
Capped is normally not a word.
No, it is an old-fashioned spelling of capped.
Yeah.
Milton's Paradise Lost uses this kind of spellings. Milton used to use in Paradise Lost this kind of spelling. Capped, not capped, kept, wrapped. Like that, you see. Whenever it is P-P-E-D, it is taken as P-T. So this is old-fashioned Miltonic spelling, capped and wrapped. Yeah. Nowadays nobody uses W-R-A-P-T for wrapped. Yeah. But it is there, Miltonic spelling. Paradise Lost is full of such spellings, you see. And Shivendu takes liberty, depending upon the rhythm, he uses this spelling or that spelling, is required. Now, there is a bit of a problem also here, quivering and wrapped. If it is a dictated line, which is what it seems to be, then the homophonic word for rapt is R-A-P-T.
Exactly.
Rapt, R-A-P-T. Quivering and rapt, R-A-P-T. It is quivering and it is rapturous. Quivering and rapt. So the revised edition has put this thing as R-A-P-T. The revised edition has put this thing as R-A-P-T.
Yeah.
Rapt.
Different meaning. Yeah.
I don't think it means much. You see, after squaring, it is kind of trapped in the web there. You see,
Yeah, this is the truth.
the W-R-A-P-T is the proper spelling here. You see.
Because the spider make his victim like this.
Yeah.
Wrapped.
It's like wrapped. You don't get wrapped while you are trapped like that. You see. So, I will not agree with the revised RAPT of this one. But the revised edition has RAPT, not WRAPT, you see. Unfortunate. This was religion. This was nature's rule. This was religion. This was the way the archives works. This was the nature, the way archives works out its scripts. This was religion, this was nature's rule, wrapped, caught and wrapped in a fell chapel of iniquity, fell chapel of iniquity. What an image, you see, what an image. Iniquity, injustice, terrible injustice. In a fell chapel of iniquity, to worship a black pitiless image of power. The chapel is there to worship a pitiless power, black pitiless power. The chapel is there to worship a black pitiless. Means there is the image of a power, black image of a power in the chapel. It is fell chapel of iniquity. Kneeling one must cross. So while you are going to the chapel there, you have to kneel down and cross the floor. Kneeling, one must cross hard-hearted, stony courts. Court after court you go like that. Kneeling, you have to cross like that. See. A pavement like a floor of evil fate. What an image, see. What an image. A pavement like a floor of evil fate. Well, actually, these church images are very common in Savitri, very common in Savitri. Every now and then you see church images like that. But he never talks of evil floor, evil fate, hard-hearted stony courts for the Indian temples. For the Indian temples. See, there is something kind of preparatory, auspicious while you are going from one court to the other court. Court after court you cross before you reach the sanctum sanctorum. You are kind of preparing constantly to be in the close vicinity of the deity or the image. A payment like a floor of evil fate. Each stone of that payment was a keen edge of ruthless force. Each stone was a keen edge, each stone was a keen edge, spondy of ruthless force, and glued with chilled blood from tortured breast. My God! So you extract the blood from the tortured breast, use that thing as a glue to bind the stones together. You cannot be more cruel than that, you see. How detailed description is here. And glowed with the chilled blood from tortured frame, the dry gnarled trees stood up like dying men in the courtyard. The gnarled trees stood up like dying men, stiffened into a pose of agony. And from each window peered an ominous priest. In the chapel, from each window, a priest is looking out like that, you see. and from each window appeared an ominous priest, chanting the tunes for slaughter's crowning grace, chanting the tunes for slaughter's crowning grace. Cities uprooted, blasted human homes, burned within bodies, and the bombshells massacre. Cities uprooted, blasted human homes. This is what we got in World War II. This is a picture of World War II actually. Burned, ridden bodies. The bombshells massacre. Well, in those days there were no bombs, but here you have got bombshells also. The complete picture of the World War II is there, you see. Chanting Tajum, 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 Lagomas, that is the praise of God. That is the praise of God, Tajum, see. I think that was the praise which was used while baptizing Saint Augustine. Saint Augustine, Tajum, Lagomas, see. Chanting, Thou merciful God, etc., all that thing, you see. Tajul for slaughter's crowning. So the whole detailed description of the church scene is there, church procedures are there, burned, risen bodies. Now this city is uprooted, blasted human home, city is uprooted. There is an inversion here. City is uprooted, it's not uprooted city, city is uprooted, blasted human home. The revised edition has made it the other way around. In the revised edition, uprooted cities, blasted human home. Uprooted cities, blasted human home. I think the force is lost by removing that inversion. City is uprooted. The talkie gives some kind of sudden force in that. Burned, ridden bodies, the bombshells massacre. Our enemies are fallen. They sang, those enemies of God, all. That is the Tajum. That is the Tajum. Let me praise you. And in that praise, you sing the song, our enemies are fallen. Enemies who are the worshippers of divine. They are the enemies here, of course. Our enemies are fallen. They sang, all who once stayed, our will are smitten and dead. They were who were staying their will. They were preventing to go away from the path of evil. They are now fallen. Those merciful souls, those helpful souls who are helping towards the divine, they are fallen. All who once stayed, our will is to oppose God. Now those people who are preventing us doing that, they are fallen. How great we are, how merciful art thou, that image of power in the chapel of iniquity, that image of power. It is that how merciful art thou. So that is the Tajum. That is the praise of God, of we will. Thus thought they to reach God's impassive throne. By opposing God, they want to climb up to the throne of God. And Him command, Him, of course God, here. And Him command, whom all their acts opposed, magnifying their deeds to touch His sky. So they want to climb up to His sky, His sky, and make Him an accomplice of their crimes. He should become the associate of their crimes. So God should become the associate, the accomplice of what evil they are doing, you see. That is the strategy, that is the way they are working. Well, they are very true to their nature. And that must be appreciated. You have taken a evil stand and you are truthful to the evil, to the extreme. You are truthful to the evil. So that itself is something, a good quality. What you believe in that you remain firm. and try to pursue it. That is the spirit of doing things. If you want to get certain things done, you have to have some conviction within yourself and carry it forward. And that is what they are doing. Thus thought they to reach God. Thus thought they. It means that they are not really going to do it. They thought it, but sorry, you may think it's not so, you see. Thus thought they to reach God's impassive throne. God is impassive. All this turmoil is going on, this opposition is going on, but He is immobile, silent, impassive, passionless. And Him command whom all their acts oppose, magnifying their deeds to teach the skies, and make Him an accomplice of their crime. There no relenting pity could have place. Obviously, no mercy, no kindness, no relenting peace. But ruthless strength and iron woes had sway. A dateless sovereignty of terror and gloom. A dateless sovereignty of terror and gloom. What a line! A dateless sovereignty of terror and gloom. Terrific line. Dateless, which has no date, means which is very old, since the beginning of time. It cannot be dated at all. Since the beginning of time. A dateless sovereignty of terror and gloom. And see the alterations of the dateless sovereignty of terror and gloom. Yeah, okay. A dateless sovereignty of terror and gloom. This took the figure of a darkened God, revered by the wrecked wretchedness He had made. That darkened God who had made this wretchedness, He is revered by them. Who held in thrall a miserable world and help His heart nay to unceasing woe. And help His heart. Again, the church image, the sacrifice goes on. And help His hand, nay, to unceasing woe, adore the feet that trample them into mire. It was a world of sorrow and hate. It was a world of sorrow and hate. Sorrow with hatred for its lowly joy. For its own joy, hatred. Sorrow with hatred for its own joy, lonely joy, or sorrow, lonely joy. Hatred with others' sorrow as His feast. Your sorrow is my feast. It was a world of sorrow and hate. Sorrow with hatred for its lonely. So for hatred you have got for hatred you have got others. For sorrow, yourself. Sorrow with hatred for its lowly joy, hatred with others' sorrow as His feast. A bitter rictus curl, the suffering mouth, opening agape. Rictus, slightly opening. The bird's opening is called rictus, but here it is mouth, terrible mouth. A bitter rictus curl, the suffering mouth, a tragic cruelty saw His ominous charm. Very cruel picture, you see, very cruel picture. Bitter rictus. There is a very beautiful painting by Huta on that rictus, sardonic rictus. You have seen that? Sardonic rictus. He calls it sardonic rictus. That phrase occurs earlier, sardonic rictus. Hate was the black archangel of that realm. Hate was the black archangel of that realm. So who is hate? Of that realm, he is an archangel. Black archangel. It glowed a somber jewel in the heart. It glowed. That hate glowed a somber jewel in the heart, burning the soul with malignant rays, and swallowed in its fell abysm of mind. Now, black archangel, black goes with somber. Black archangel, somber jewel. Jewel goes with archangel. In word, the phrase black archangel and somber jewel are equivalent. Black archangel and somber jewel, they are equivalent. See again that Christian theological image continues here. Now there are 7 archangels, one for each day of the week, starting from Michael. I got a whole list of them. Michael for Sunday, Gabriel for Monday, Raphael for Tuesday, Uriel for Wednesday.
Can you say again? Raphael?
Michael for Sunday, Gabriel for Monday, Raphael for Tuesday, Uriel for Wednesday. So Raphael, today is Tuesday, so Raphael.
Gabriel is Monday.
Seraphil, Thursday. Raguel, Friday. And Barashil, Saturday. Michael,
Thursday.
then next day Gabriel.
No, Thursday. Say only the
They are all one by one. Sunday, Monday, like that it goes on.
You know, from Sunday.
Michael is for Sunday, Gabriel is for Monday, Raphael is for Tuesday, Uriel is for Wednesday, Seraphil is for Thursday, Raguel for Friday,
What is it?
Raguel, Raguel,
Raguel.
for Friday.
Okay. Then?
And then last is Barashil, Barashiel, Barashiel for Saturday.
Barashil?
Barashiel. Now, of course, among these, the closest to God is Michael. Closest to God is Michael, the leader of the army of God. Michael, closest to God is Michael. Now, when he's saying of black archangel, so he is the real archangel, black archangel. His counterpart now here down below, that is the black Michael, down below, you see. A somber jewel, closest to God, you see, jewel, in his heart, burying the soul. Actually, pardon me?
They also add names.
Down below,
They also add names.
Actually, these are the 7 archangels. You have 7 devils also. 7 devils. I will give the names of 7 devils. Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Pride.
The most famous. Okay.
Lucifer, pride.
Okay, just go slow.
Mammon, greed.
Lucifer is pride, huh? Right?
Mammon, greed. Asmodeus, lust. Leviathan, envy. I will type out this lesson, send it to you.
Yes, please.
I will send this to you.
But you can say
Welfare God, sloth. Miserable, gluttony. So pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth. These are the 7 evils. 7 devils, you see. And they correspond to one of the fallen angels, archangels. Each one of them corresponds to the fallen archangel. But here we are talking basically of hate. That is Michael. Leviathan, envy, Michael. So here, black archangel is the fallen Michael. In that sense. Hate was a black archangel of the realm, of that realm. So he is the leader of the army also, down below. It glowed, a storm was dwelled in the heart, burning the soul with its malignant rays, and wallowed in its fell abysm of might. These passions. Actually,
in its fall.
pardon
Why
me?
is it fell?
Actually, this black archangel is also the name of a plant. Name of a plant. Black archangel,
But what is it? Is it fell?
black whorehound, they call it whorehound, black whorehound,
That fall.
black whorehound. Yeah. That is the name it has. Black whorehound.
But it should be fall.
Well, but here it is not that. But that plant is quite useful plant. Black. It is a medicinal plant. Well, oh, okay.
And wallowed in it.
And wallowed in its fell abysm of might.
Yeah, it should be fall. Not
Yeah, yeah, they are already fallen. Wallowed in its fell abysm.
What is
Fell,
fell?
fell does not mean fallen. Fell means bad.
Fell means
Bad.
bad.
Huh. Fell chapel. We have already seen fell chapel. Fell
What
chapel.
is a fell chapel? Bad. He said bad.
F-E-L, fell chapel.
Bad chapel, not good. The opposite of good. Fell means.
A fell chapel.
I don't know. Fell. Oh. Fell means bad.
Yeah, in that sense. Well, yeah, means which is fallen, which is not very good, you see.
So there's a very old words
Yeah.
which are not used anymore. No, but that is real.
Fell chapel. Same thing here.
I mean,
Fell abysm. He is repeating that word, fell abysm.
we're trying to do that. So the bad abysm.
Yeah. Very repulsive in that sense. You know. These passions, even objects seem to exude. See, these are the passions of those angels. Even objects, physical objects were for mind overflowed into the inanimate. This is a deep occult statement. Mind overflowing into inanimate objects. Actually, we don't understand, we don't realize that our thoughts not only affect the animate objects, other people, other creatures, other living things, other plants, other flowers, our mind does affect them. Not only there, it can even affect the objects, physical objects.
Of course.
Your good thoughts, your bad thoughts, they are affected by them. These passions, even objects, seem to exude. Of our mind overflowed into the inanimate that answered with the wickedness it received. Obviously, you are throwing wickedness and it is also answering with wickedness. So this is a very deep thing. Passions, even objects seem to exude. Mind overflowed into the inanimate, overflowed into the inanimate. It's a very deep occult statement. Against their users use malignant powers, obviously. Hurt without hands and strangely, suddenly slew. Hurt without hands and strangely, suddenly slew. Without hands, by thought. Because thoughts are affecting. Appointed as instruments of an unseen doom. So they are the instruments of the doom. And their thoughts are there. Or they make themselves a fateful prison wall. Prison wall. And what do you have in the prison wall? Where men condemned wake to the creeping hours, counted with the tollings of an ominous bell. You see in the prison, early morning, they will be ringing. So each prisoner has to get up and his attendants. Yes, 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 I am present. Where men condemned wait through the creeping hours. He is still asleep, but then he has to wake up the moment the bell goes up. Counted by the tollings of an ominous bell. So this is actually what Shivandu himself must have experienced in the jail. This is personal experience of his. See, in the morning the bell goes and you have to present yourself. See? And evil environment worsened evil souls. All things were conscious there and all are worse. In this infernal realm, he dared to press even into his deepest pit, his darkest core. Put out his tenebrous base. He, of course, stands now for Ashwapati. In this infernal realm, because he is in the prison, so Shivandu was in the prison. He was in prison. In this infernal realm, in this prison, he dared to press even into his deepest pit and darkest core. Put out his tenebrous base, dared to contest his ancient privilege, right and absolute foe. In night, he plunged to know her dreadful heart. In night, he plunged to know her dreadful. That is the pilgrimage, to know her dreadful heart. Practically, monosyllabic line. In night, I am. He plunged, I am. To know, I am. Her dreadful. All five are I ams. In night, he plunged to know the dreadful heart. He fell in hell. He sought the root and cause of hell. In hell, he sought the root and cause of hell. Again, perfect iambic. Both the lines are very well balanced rhythmically, you see, and practically monosyllabic, so it brings a kind of a force in that whole process. In night, he plunged to know what dreadful harm. In hell, he sought the root and cause of hell. In this infernal realm, this is what he is doing. This line, in night he plunged to know her dreadful heart. In hell he sought the root and cause of hell. This is what was anticipated in the previous canto, towards the end, you see. His anguished gulfs opened in his own breast. He listened to clamors of his crowded pain, the heartbeats of his fatal loneliness. Now, there is a little bit of a problem here. Its anguished gulfs, it whose? Night or hell? It is neither night or hell. It is infernal realm. In this infernal realm, his anguished gulfs open in his own breast. Or that realm, the gulfs are opening out in his own time. He listened to clamors of his crowded pain, the heartbeats of his fatal loneliness. Above was a chill death eternity. He weighed tremendous passages of doom, he is passing through them, passages of doom. He heard a goblin voice that guides to slay, He heard, he has to be still alert. Now, he heard a goblin voice, V, here is small, in the revised edition, V is capital, voice, V capital, that guides to slay, and face the enchantment of the demon's sign. Face the enchantment of the demon. The sign has kind of enchantment, enticing, and travel the ambush of the opponent snake. Now, demon's sign, opponent snake, demon's sign. There are many signs of the demon. 666 is one sign. 666. Triple 666. So don't read page 666 in your book. Don't read in your book, whatever book it be. Don't read page 666. It is a demon's page, you see. So, demon sign, inverted cross. Inverted cross. The cross is like this, not like this. Inverted cross. That is the demon sign. This inverted cross. Demon sign. In Indian thing, twisted swastik. Twisted swastik. Twisted swastik. Evil. Evil. Actually, yeah, inverted swastik also backside. See, if you take a cow, if you look at it clockwise, that is auspicious. If it is anti-clockwise, if you see from the behind, it is inauspicious. So if you are putting on a grill a swastik, in front it may look very auspicious, from the back it will be very... People don't understand that, you see. People don't. Opponent snake, seducer. He is there, always waiting. Snake. The story of Eden, Garden of Eden, see. And faith enchantments of the demon sign. He, Ashapati. See, he is seeing all that thing. But then there is always something in him, always kind of a discernment. He discerns whether it is proper or not. That perception is there, that discernment is there. So he does not lose the sight of the correctness, you see. He knows what is good and what is bad. He can completely discern. And traverse the ambush of the eternal snake in menacing tracks. Well, actually, there the red, opponent snake. But then there was a positive sign also. I got a little passage from Genesis. Moses has seen the sign. He was about to die. Before that, he saw this sign. Moses went up Mount Nebo, climbing up Mount Nebo, on the top of Pisgah, climbing up, looked over the promised land of Israel. From the top of the mountain, he sees the promised land of Israel. Moses, you see. Israel spread out before him. The land of Israel is spread out. So he is happy that he is there, and died. So that was a happy sign for him, and died. At the age of 120 years. He lived for 120 years, Moses. 120 years. At the time of his death, he saw the promised land there. He was happy. This Moses came back here to the ashram as Amruta. Amruta. Amruta, you don't know Amruta. He was one of the Amruta.
Amanita. No.
Amruta. You know that in the meditation room, that room behind, no, where that they got account sections and all that.
Yeah.
In the ashram, in the meditation hall behind it, there is that room where they got all the account sections are there. Where Chakravarti, that Krishna sits there. So that is Amruta's room. That is Amruta. He was a South Indian Brahmin, and he was caught by Shivandu, and he stayed on here right from the beginning. And then later on, Shivandu gives a kind of a history of his earlier lives. In one of the previous lives, he was Moses. Amruta. He was Moses, Amrita. So he saw the promised land. There you are. He has come here, promised land.
So he make a mistake before.
Yeah.
Because he was ninja.
You don't know about Amrita? Amrita? You heard of it? In menacing task, in tortured solitudes, companionless, he roamed through desolate ways. Companionless, he roamed through desolate ways. Well, that is what Rashtrapati is doing now, going to the Guru Doom, that place. Companionless. Not even the mother was present with him. She would not be. She would not be. Her domain is different. Her work is different. Shivandu's work is connected with the Vedantic Yoga. Mother's work is connected with the Tantric Yoga, occult. So naturally in the Vedantic path he is companionless, alone, following the path. In menacing tracks, in tortured solitude, companionless, he roamed through desolate ways, where the Red Bull waits by the fordless stream. What a line, what an image. Where the Red Bull waits by the fordless stream. Fordless, very deep stream, you cannot cross easily. You cannot cross easily, fordless. So you cannot cross it easily, and the Red Bull is there, waiting for you to come there and pounce upon you. And pounce upon you. That's the image, Red Bull. Now about this Red Wolf. Red Wolf could be dangerous. He says could be dangerous, but are shy and timid. Red Wolves are shy and timid. In North Carolina, USA, they counted the number of Red Bulls present. There are only 40 remaining there.
What?
North Carolina, right now. In Norse mythology, the Fenrir was a symbol of chaos who eventually swallows Odin. A dangerous predator associated with destruction. Red Wolf is a dangerous predator associated with destruction. In Mahabharata, one of the Pandavas, 5 Pandavas, Bhima, stout, strong, he is called Vrakodara, who has the stomach of a bull. He can swallow great, whatever like that you say. Vrakodara, he calls it Vrakodara. Big stomach, he can swallow like that you see. Bull stomach, Vrakodara. Udara means stomach. Vraka means wolf. As if he has got the stomach of a bull to swallow whatever comes here. Vrakodara. Now, Shivandu gives the etymology of this word vraka. Vraka, etymologically in Sanskrit means tearer, who tears apart whatever comes here. Whatever comes across, it tears apart. Vraka means tearing. The action of tearing is vraka, basically. Now, that is the grammatical sense of the word vraka. That is then identified with an animal called wolf. It is not the other way around. Vraka is the original sense of the word, of the sound, of the root, vraka, that who tears. And then you see somebody and then you call him vraka. You call him vraka, vrakodara, Bhima, like that you see, vrakodara. In fact, the same thing happens. The word ashwa, the etymological sense of the word ashwa means speedy and strong, fast and strong. That is ashwa. Ashwa, etymologically, word means speed and strength. Now you identify with a horse and then you call him Ashwa. It is not Ashwa is that. Ashwa is actually a kind of a noun which has been imposed on an animal, a word, you see. Same thing, vraka, terror, a wool. So here, a red wool, one who tears things, will not live completely. And you cannot cross the stream now there. Companionlessly roam through desolate ways, where the red wool ways with a fordless stream. What a description, fordless stream. See, you have got Oxford, the river Ox is there, and there is a little shallow path where the oxes can cross through. So it is Oxford, you see. Otherwise it is very deep, you cannot cross easily. Oxford, you see. Oxford, fordless stream, and death. Black eagle screamed to the precipice, down below. That's black eagle. Zeus eagles are bright blue, golden, eagle golden. But here they are black eagles, like black archangel, you see, black eagle screamed to the precipice and met the hounds of Baal who hunt men's heart. Baal, evil, Baal who hunt men's heart. Being across the realms of destiny, grasslands of Africa, destiny, in fruitless battlefields of the abyss, fought shadowy combats in viewed eyeless depths. Assaults of hell endured, and Titans strove. He endured. Assaults of hell he endured, and Titans strove. That is exactly what we have on the Samadhi inscription. Assaults of hell he endured, and Titans strove. For shadowy combats and viewed eyeless dream, and both the fierce inner wounds that are slow to heal, and both the fierce inner wounds that are slow to heal, and both the fierce inner, I am, very critic, last one, and both the fierce inner wounds that are slow to heal, last is a critic, long, short, long, both the fierce wounds. Now again he is repeating, endured and bore. This is exactly what we have seen in the last canto. Bear and endure. Bear and endure. This is what we have seen at towards the end of the last canto. See, bear and endure. A prisoner of hooded magic force, and captured and trailed in Faunce's lethal net, and often strangled in the doors of grief, or cast on the grim morass of swallowing down, or shut into pits of terror and despair. He drank her poison dross till none was left. He drank her poison dross till none was left. Her poison drop, or that magic force. He drank her poison drops till none was left. Now this is actually also kind of reminiscent of the churning of the ocean, the mythological churning of the ocean, when from the ocean 14 products came out, and one of them was poison. Poison. Now, it is only Shiva who offered himself to drink that poison completely. Completely. Shiva drank that whole poison completely, so that the world was free of poison, you see. He drank. And because he drank that poison, his throat became blue. His throat, and therefore is called Nila Kantha. Nila means blue, Kantha means throat, Nila Kantha, that is Shiva. So that is kind of a reminiscence of this line. He drank her poison draughts till none was left. Till none was left. Now, he drank, of course, he stands for Ashwapati. So when Shiva drank that poison, which came out after turning into the ocean, it did not really exhaust all the poison. The poison still remained there, so to say, you see, so to say, you see. He drank. Now here is a yogi who is drinking that whole poison. So in a certain sense you can say that Shivendu, this yogi, represents Shiva himself to drink that whole poison again completely, till none was left. Till none was left, you see. Now unless that poison is completely removed, you cannot proceed further. You cannot proceed further. It has to go away completely, you see. Or shut into the pits of error and despair. He drank her poison on that force, her poison of magic force. He drank her poison. In a world where neither hope nor joy could come, the ordeal he suffered of evil's absolute reign. You see, in fact, this is something more than what Mother has said of the Samadhi. This is something more than that. In fact, it is these lines which should be put on the Samadhi. In a world where neither hope nor joy could come, in a world where neither hope nor joy could come, in a world, where neither hope nor joy could come. The ordeal. Now this is a very, very beautiful line in the sense that the ordeal, the first foot is anape, ordeal, he suffered, second foot is also anape, third foot is also anape, he will act, I am, absolute reign, anapest. So you have got 4 anapests and 1 I am here line. 14 syllables in this line. 4 anapests means 12 plus 2. The ordeal he suffered of evil's absolute reign. 4 I am. Very unusual kind of a line that way. 4 anapests coming like that. He kept intact his spirit's radiant truth. That is his greatness. In a world where neither hope nor joy could come, the ordeal he suffered of evil's absolute truth. What a long line also, you see. The suffering is long and therefore the line is also long. Yet kept intact the spirit's radiant truth, incapable of motion or of fall, in matter's blank denial, jailed and blind, pinned to the black inertia of our pain. He treasured between his hands his flickering soul. The power of the night is so long, or that magic force is so strong that the soul can flicker, you see. Incapable of motion or of force, in matter's blank denial, the refusal of matter. No, the divine cannot be here at all present. That is the refusal of matter. Divine cannot. Jailed and blind. This is the old-fashioned spelling, English spelling, jailed and blind. Pinned to the black inertia of her being, he treasured between his hands his flickering soul. So he is kind of protecting against the wind of that magic force, his flickering soul. So his hands must be really very strong to protect the power of that wind. He treasured between his hands his flickering soul. His being ventured into mindless void. internal that knew not thought nor sense, that knew not thought nor sense, that is void. Void does not know thought or sense. Thought ceased, sense failed, his soul still saw and knew completely. Because it is sight of the soul now which is coming here. Now he is being ventured into mindless void. Mindless, not hopeless, without mind, stupid. Mindless chap does not mean stupid. He is not stupid, void. There is no mind in the void. Here the word mindless stands for no mind is present in the void. Void has no mind. It is not devoid of, mindless void is not that devoid of mind. Wanting of, it is not that. Mindless means the mind is not there in that sense. Stupid, not intelligent, is not in that sense mindless. Mindless void where exists no mind. The simplest way is mindless void means where mind does not exist. Therefore, internal guns that knew not thought nor sense. Thought ceased, sense failed. His soul still saw and knew, because he is protecting the soul in his hands, and therefore the soul could give the light to him. The soul knew. In atomic parcelings of the infinite, near to the down beginnings of lost self, he felt the curious small futility of the creation of material time. He felt, because his soul is there, not by mind, by thought, by any other thing, but by the soul perception, he felt. It is soul's perception, it is soul's feeling. In atomic parcelings of the infinite, the whole metaphysics in this line, atomic parcelings of the infinite. Parcelings, small packets of infinite, as given like atoms, parcelings, small packets of the infinite. Now, the Vedic reference is what is called tuchena. Tuchena. Small bits, fragmentation of matter, of the self, of the divine. That is called tuchena. Small bits are there. So that is the atomic parceling, tuchena. The Vedic word is tuchana, tucha, small, little, meaningless, trivial, like that thing you see. Atomic parceling to the infinite. It's like, you see, you got a hose of water coming through, and then when the water comes out of the mouth of the hole, then there is a spray of particles of drops of water everywhere coming out. That is the tuchena. Means the continuity of water is there, but the moment it comes out of it, it becomes drops. That is tuchena, particles. That is the parcelings of atomic parcelings. In atomic parcelings to the infinite. Actually, this process in the life divine, Savitri has described in great detail how the atomicity appears. How atomicity appears. Actually, in Satchidananda, Sat, that is existence. Sat is existence. That is substance. That is the base, substance. When it comes down to the over mind and then down below, then it becomes fragmented. There is a fragmentation of that original substance when it comes down to over mind and into the mind. So it is actually the mind which is giving rise to the fragmentation of the substance. The atomicity starts arising with the appearance of mind. Mind is an agent, is a power by which the substance is broken into bits and bits and bits and bits. Infinite bits, you see. Before that there is no substance, basically. So it is the basis of mental fragmentation by the mind, which is the atomic parcel links here. There is a long description of that thing in the life divine, you see. in atomic parceling to the infinite, near to the dumb beginnings of the lost self. Now this is the clue where this atomic parceling is taking place. Dumb beginnings of lost self. The divine has plunged into the void. He is stationed in the void. He lost himself. So at that particular place, the atomicity is arising due to mind. The reference is beginnings of lost self. When these things are happening there, it's a very complex kind of a metaphysics here involved, you see. In atomic parceling to the infinite, near to the dumb beginnings. After all, and the inconscient is a dumb beginning of lost self. The being who has lost himself in the void, completely there, of the infinite. He felt the curious, small futility of the creation of material. What is this creation then after all, this material creation? Small futility. He felt the curious, small, he became kind of curious why this is happening, how this is happening, why it is happening, that kind of a thing. Now here, he felt again, because mind is not there, sense is not there, it is a mindless void, therefore he feels due to the soul. He felt the curious, small futility. Curious, he becomes inquisitive, how this has happened, why it has happened. Small futility. Now, small futility is an adjective. In fact, small is an adjective for futility. It is not small curiosity. It is small curiosity. It is not transferred epithet. He felt small futility of the creation of material thing. What for all that thing, you see? Or stifled in the inconscious hollow dusk. He sounded a mystery, dark, and either he feels or he sounds. Sounds means plumb, probe, plunge into it, probe. He sounded a mystery, dark and bottomless, because it is a deep water. Salilam, apraketam, dark ocean is there. He is sounding the dark ocean, the depth to the dark ocean. He is sounding the ocean, the depth of the dark ocean. Salilam, apraketam, that is the Rigveda. Salilam, apraketam, without consciousness, dark, apraketam. Salilam, water. He sounded the mystery, dark and bottomless. All the enormous and unmeaning deeps. Again, the deep stands for that ocean here. Deep, when struggling life in a dead universe rose, struggling, it is from there the whole beginning has come here, you see, from that inconscience. There, in this stark identity, lost by mind, he felt the secret sense of the insensible world. He felt this, again, he felt the secret sense of the insensible world. What for this insensible world? He is feeling that kind of a thing here now. He is repeating that. He felt, earlier also he said felt. He felt the curious small futility. He felt the secret sense of the insensible world. And a mute wisdom in the unknowing night. Night does not know, but inside that night there is the unknowing wisdom. Mute wisdom is present. Behind night there is the presence of that wisdom. Silent wisdom is present behind the night. Therefore, because that wisdom is there, therefore it becomes a pilgrimage to night. It becomes a pilgrimage to night. There is something good over. In the Vishwan's secrecy he came. Avishwan's secrecy, the dark below, down below, secrecy he came. The whole secret, what is secrecy? Secrecy, that wisdom, that presence, that is secrecy. Into the Vishwan's secrecy he came. Where darkness peers from her mattress, from her mattress. Darkness is a feminine, darkness peers from her grey and nude, and stood on the last locked subconscious floor, where being slept unconscious of his thought. Beings left unconscious, lost self, what we have seen earlier. Beings left unconscious. We have seen earlier, no? Lost self, beginning of lost self. So he is very consistent, he is clarifying everything. You see. Into the abysmal secrecy he came, where darkness peers from her mattress grey and dew, and stood on the last locked subconscious floor, where being slept unconscious of its thought, that is, inconscient Vishnu. Being slept inconscient Vishnu. Vishnu is lying on a 1,000-hooded serpent, asleep, 1,000-hooded serpent, and he is asleep on that. Being slept unconscious of his thought, and build the world, not knowing what it built. There, waiting for its hour, the future lay unknown. Its hour, future. They are waiting its hour because nobody knows what is happening, but he feels something. They are waiting for its hour, the future lay unknown. There is the record of vanished star. Now he sings back. There, in the slumber of the cosmic will, lost self, being, sleeping, slumber of cosmic will, they are the same thing, you see. He saw the secret key of nature's say. Now, earlier he says, he felt. Now, he sees the secret key of nature. All this is like that. So, what is the key for that? How it can be changed? That is what he is saying. He saw the secret key of nature's change. A light was with him, an invisible hand was laid upon the error, and the pain till it became a quivering ecstasy, the shock of sweetness of an arm's embrace, the shock of sweetness of an arm's embrace. A light was with him, that flickering light, that soul he has protected against the magic force, and that light is showing him an invisible hand was laid upon the error. Why this has happened? And the pain till it became. See, there is a kind of enjama, overflowing. The line is overflowing. The pain till it became. Means till pain became a quivering ecstasy. He is laying his hand upon the error and upon the pain till pain becomes the quivering ecstasy. The shock of sweetness of an arm's embrace. So the arm's embrace. So he sees that kind of a thing. Now that is the key. He saw there in the slumber of the cosmic will. Slumber of the cosmic means there is a will there. He caught the hold of the key. The will is there. Now he knows what part the whole thing is there. Why this night? Why this hell? What the purpose? That there is a will behind that. There is a purpose behind that. He saw the secret key of nature. He got the hold of the key now, and from that the nature can change from that thing. A light was with him, an invisible hand was laid upon the error, and the pain till became. See, it is pain it became, not hand which has become ecstasy. It is pain that has become ecstasy. The shock of sweetness of an embrace. I think we'll stop with that.
Yes.
He saw in night eternal shadowy veil, that lost self, all that thing is